This is also a very important issue for voting advocacy groups like Rock the Vote. Audrey Gelman is their national spokesperson. It's fair to say this idea of thousands upon thousands of fraudulent voters in any state is not necessarily a logical thing backed up by reason and evidence. It's more sort of taking these issues that I just sort of mentioned, signing the wrong thing, the wrong barcode, which then magnifies into there must be some huge conspiracy here.
Absolutely. I think what we see here is young people's rights are under attack in these states. What we see with voter fraud is that it's largely a fantasy. Certainly there's no evidence that's been put forward that these new laws would remedy any voting fraud in the past, certainly from young people. Young people have a lot of things to do with their time, and concocting, large plans to execute voter fraud over and over and over again is certainly not one.
Yeah, not on
You're absolutely right. This is a solution in search of a problem. In 2008, 7 out of 10 black voters in North Carolina voted early. This is not about integrity. This is the part that really unveils it as completely about suppression, right? Even if you show up with an ID, you can't vote if you're not voting within the window that they're trying to make it. I mean, just to even call the debate about voter ID is wrong. This is about voter suppression.
It is about voter suppression, and young people were 2.5 times as likely to utilize early voting in North Carolina in 2012. I think we see this as a very clear, make no mistake, these laws are designed to prohibit young people from getting to the polls and limit access.
Yeah. And the young people, voters that are 30 and under, are now speaking out more, which I think will have a huge impact on this fight. People just assume that they don't get out to vote, that they really don't have much of an impact. But if you look at 2012, they actually cast more than 20 million votes. I think that was 15% of the overall electorate. North Carolina, the turnout was 57%, probably one of the highest in the country. What effect is this going to have?
I think it's going to have a tremendous effect. I think what we're seeing with the Duke Avengers, the 7 college students in North Carolina that are litigants in this case, is sending a strong message to states in the rest of the country where controversial voter ID laws have been passed. So I think that it has a significant impact on the potential turnout in North Carolina, but also nationally.
Right.
And when you see these laws being put forward and coming into play this cycle, that's what young people feel like. They feel like they're watching lawmakers not make it easier for them to get to the vote. They're making it much harder. And it should be a common sense argument.
It already wasn't easy.
We should be reaching out to the next generation and engaging them in this debate.
Do you think that we will see the same sort of attention and backlash in particular from young people as they realize that it is their rights that are under attack here?
Absolutely. I mean, we've heard, again, the message to young people that their voices are being silenced is incredibly effective and powerful. And that's what you're seeing very clearly.
So you're seeing a big backlash from that?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that, again, midterm elections are a tough sell with young people. 23% of young people turned out in the last midterm election. And so I think we always are going to be facing a challenge when you're getting people to come out and telling them that the president is not up for re-election. But what we know is that the composition of Congress is at stake here, and crucial legislation, immigration reform, many other important pieces of legislation are going to be determined by the composition of this Congress.
Right.
Audrey Gelman, thank you so much.
You.
Appreciate it. Rock the Vote and SDK Knickerbocker.